Wen, and I'm the lead for the Syrian Refugee Relief Task Force, and I'll be reporting about the developing economy of the Syrian refugee community. And first, Jordan, the host country, is now facing an energy crisis where its import actually 97% of its energy needs, and 80% of that is from Egypt. And the Egypt turmoil happening right now, Jordan was cut off from the cheap natural gas supply and are forced to buy heavy fuel with the additional price tag of $1.4 million a day. On top of that, it's the public debt problem. Now, Jordan's at $23 billion, accounting for 70% of its GDP. So the situation with 250,000 Syrian refugees into Jordan really strained the country's limited existing resources. And so far, these refugees have just been relying on largely on international aid. And beside for other aid like food stuff, protection, healthcare, the refugees also are assessed to receive cash supplement, and through schemes like Cash for Work, where they are working in maintaining public facilities or cleaning, and receive 120 Jordanian dinar a day, a month, sorry, and or for those who can't work and receive direct grant. And also, but still, this is not enough. On average, the refugee experience at least 90% not 90 Jordanian dinar shortfall between income and expenses, and there's severe lack of income generating opportunity, remaining like 90% of the urban governorate is unemployed as of February 2013. And this leads to a lot of negative coping mechanism where child labor rise, black market, where illegal trade, where local gangs cut off food supplies, electricity, water from the aid to sell it back and make a profit out of it.
My name is Megan Giovanetti, and I am the assistant team leader, and I will be talking about healthcare. With the wave of Syrian refugees, not only comes with it political, economic, and cultural turmoil, but healthcare problems as well. According to the Jordan Times, the discovery of previously eliminated or low prevalence diseases among Syrian refugees is placing a burden on the kingdom's healthcare. Over 100 cases of tuberculosis, HIV/AIDS, and measles have been discovered among the refugees since their arrival only 2 years ago. The health minister, Ali Hassad, cries that international support is needed for not only Syrians, but Jordanians alike. Fortunately, the international community has heard Jordan's cries. With help of NGOs like the International Rescue Committee, UNICEF, World Health Organization, UNHCR, and Mercy Corps, Syrian refugees are getting quality health care, cash assistance, social services, psychiatric counseling, and basic survival supplies. The IRC opened 2 primary clinics in Morocco and Ramtha just last year, helping an average of 100 patients a day. Mercy Corps has been providing shelter, basic supplies such as sleeping mats and hygienic materials, water wells, and toys for child development in the country's largest refugee camp of Zatari. Jordan's Ministry of Health and WHO provide a rapid health assessment of refugees to help better assist their needs, and UNICEF is working on a nationwide vaccination campaign to launch this month, covering all people in the country under 20 years, regardless of nationality, for measles and polio. The refugees settled in Jordan are being assisted in the best way the world knows how to, but is it good enough? The UNHCR reports that low funding makes it extremely difficult to provide quality health care for refugees, especially for those who live outside the camps, which is approximately 70% of the refugees in Jordan. Also, the increasing number of refugees in need of care makes it difficult to help all. Although basic survival needs and health opportunities are important, a vast increase in mental health issues have been found in Zatari camps, such as anxiety and PTSD, as well as women and girls recovering from sexual violence and exploitation. With these problems and the increasing amount of refugees by the day, needy Syrians and unhappy Jordans urge for international assistance.
My name is Gabriela Rodas, and I am a student researcher for the Syrian Relief Task Force, and I will be talking about NGOs in Jordan. In an article published on PBS.org, approximately 70,000 Syrian refugees have made their way into Jordan as of early 2013. However, now the Jordanian government is struggling under the numbers that continue to grow. Jordan, like other countries in the Middle East, has passed laws to regulate and minimize the number of organizations that operate within its territory. For example, the Social Associations and Organizations Law passed in 1966 and the Law on Societies in 2008. These laws limit the things that these organizations can do, especially in terms of legal advice and political influence. Of the NGOs that have made their way into Jordan during the crisis, the IRC has taken an active role of tending to vulnerable Jordan citizens as well as Syrian refugees. They have opened 2 primary care clinics, one in Mafraq, the other in Ramtha. Of these 2 care clinics, they see a combined of 100 patients a day. In the first year they opened, they saw 22,000 both Syrian and Jordan citizens use these services. The IRC has also seen a very large population of women and young girls, so they provide emotional support as well as pre- and postnatal care. They offer the essential supplies such as blankets, sleeping mats, medicine in local pharmacies. They make sure that it's free for people that need it. The IRC is also providing tangible aids such as clothes, hygiene supplies, and other essentials, especially with winter rolling in. The Syrians are living in very thin tents, so there is no way for them to escape the cold. But the IRC is making sure that donations are flowing in, and they will be able to provide many more blankets as well as sweaters and essentials for Syrian refugees.
Hi, I'm Frances Asha. I'm a student researcher for the Syrian Relief Task Force, and I'll be discussing education in the Syrian camps. There are currently 2 temporary schools there run by the Jordan Ministry of Education and UNICEF. Each school has a capacity for about 5,000 students, and each class has 1 Jordanian teacher as well as a Syrian teaching assistant. The girls take classes in the morning while boys take classes in the afternoon, and these schools were help funded by the European Union, who donated 4.6 million euros to UNICEF for their emergency education programs. These schools are really good for these camps because they give children the opportunity not only to learn, but a safe space for them to recover from their trauma as refugee children. While these schools are very helpful for the community in these camps, there's still an issue that many of these children aren't attending the school. 76% of girls ages 6 to 18 in these camps don't attend, as well as 80% of boys from the same age group don't attend school either. Some of the reasons these children aren't attending school is because some of the families believe that they won't be at the camps very long, so they don't bother enrolling them. Also, there is a safety issue of children going to and from school, cases of harassment and other types of violence. Also, due to the trauma that they have experienced, a lot of the kids feel uncomfortable being away from their family, even just for a few hours. Also, some kids, due to the financial strains of their family becoming refugees, they have to stay at home or help work and earn money. Also, due to large class sizes, teachers aren't able to hunt down students that are falling behind. Basically, while these temporary schools are doing a lot of good for the community, there does need to be reform in the schools so more Syrian children can get an education.
Hello, I'm Christian Militante, and I'm a student researcher with the Syrian Refugee Relief Task Force. I will be discussing the ethnic and global diversity of Syrian refugees in Jordan. Since Syrians have settled in Jordan, many tensions have risen between Syrians and Jordanians. Few reasons of these tensions were caused by things like an outrageous increase in the housing market and a competitive search for work. Reports have shown that since Syrian population has increased, the rent for housing has skyrocketed from 50 dinars to a minimum of 100 to 200 dinars. Now, a price this high forces people to search for work, but work is scarce for both Syrians and Jordanians. Syrians are not permitted to work without a worker's permit, and obtaining one may be difficult and tedious. Therefore, many Syrians offer to work illegally for more hours and lesser pay. This attracts business owners to hire Syrians over Jordanians and makes work harder to find for Jordanians. Problems like this often cause Syrian parents to forbid their children from interacting with Jordanians because they fear that their children may be abused. Studies have also shown that male children in particular are emotionally unstable because of the abuse they have experienced from other children. Female children often experience depression and loneliness. The youth and children make up most of the population of refugee camps. Therefore, assimilation towards Jordanian culture is essential. But this also conflicts with the Syrian identity of children and pushes Syrian children to embody their nationalism as they acknowledge Jordan as a residence but not an actual home.
Hello, my name is Peter Sobrino, and I'm a student researcher for the Syrian Refugee Task Force. And today I'm going to be giving a briefing on the security situation concerning Syrian refugees in Jordan. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, there are approximately 545,000 refugees in Jordan. Of those 545,000 Syrian refugees, 90% of them live in northern Jordan in large refugee camps. Currently, the conflict in Syria has not carried over to Jordan itself, leaving the refugees free of indiscriminate shelling by Assad or the rebels' forces. However, camps, especially in the larger ones, have been supplies in the camps have been stretched to the limits. There is widespread thievery, especially over wool blankets and diapers. Wool blankets because desert temperatures reach below zero at night, and diapers because there is an abundance of infants in the camps. There's not enough to go around, leading to widespread resentment of the UN to the point of throwing rocks at the vehicles, and there have been a couple riots this past year. However, there is not a lot of Syrian-on-Syrian violence in the camps themselves. As for violence between Jordanians and Syrians, there is little to none. However, tensions are high between the two groups. At the start of the conflict, Jordanians welcomed any Syrian refugees with open arms. However, as more and more refugees flooded in and started taking up low-income housing and low-income jobs, Jordanians started growing resentful of the refugees, destabilizing their economy. According to a study done by the UN, prostitution and drugs have become prevalent in the camps, and a lot of Jordanians don't want their impressionable children and young adults exposed to these negative influence. So outside the camps, there is general harassment and a general feeling of keeping the Syrians inside the camps. But however, there is no outright violence between the two groups.